Well, yeah, there's both. I mean, with probably any issue that ASA is working on, we have some opportunities, we have some challenges. When it comes to a new Trump administration coming in, there are, certain things on the regulatory side that were beneficial to us the last time around. But one of the largest impacts that we saw in farm country, and when it comes to profitability on the farm, was the effects of the trade war in 2018. With the tariffs that the Trump administration instituted then, and the retaliation from China, the price declines that we saw in the commodity markets overall. Some of that was built back, and there were phase one and phase two deals, and built that demand back up, but it never, we never got back to the level where we were at before that started. So, I mean, that would be probably one of our biggest concerns going into a new administration here.
Have you had communication yet with anybody that says, hey, let's think about this before we do something?
Well, we've talked to a lot of elected officials, Congress, both House and Senate members, even before the election. It seems like this more kind of protectionist trade philosophy now is not just, it's not partisan anymore. It's kind of filling in everywhere. So reminding decision makers, especially those who are looking for trade deals and looking for how those relationships are maintained, reminding them that American ag can be a bright spot in those relationships with other countries, and China's one of them. There's important, property right, or not property rights, but intellectual property, human rights issues with China, certain things that definitely need to be addressed and dealt with. But just a reminder, I was in DC, it was in September, I believe, a hearing sometime in the summer, but a hearing with the House Ag Committee on China and agriculture, and I was there representing U.S. soybean farmers just to say, hey, as you make some of these decisions and are looking at some of these other issues, ag can be a bright spot, and we can be an important part of building that relationship.
Anything coming out with the EPA that we've got some concerns about?
Yeah, we've already seen a lot of it. The herbicide strategy, the insecticide strategy that's been rolled out under the Endangered Species Act. As farmers, and I follow it a little bit, just in this role, trying to understand it a little bit more and learn more about what those impacts are. And even it's hard to imagine how we're going to be able to implement some of these practices, or how we're going to be able to farm the way we farm without some of these important crop protection tools. EPA's, they're under pressure. They have to do something. They have to comply with the law. They have to be in compliance with ESA. Producers, we understand that. Farmers get that as well. But we think we can be part of the solution. We've shown that these products are safe, they're reliable, they're cost effective on our farms. And what we're really asking is EPA just follow the science. A lot of what they've rolled out here in these, there's no shown impacts or demonstrated impacts to many of the species that they're identifying. So again, whether it's this administration or a new administration working on implementing those herbicide strategies and those insecticide strategies, making sure it's something that is predictable, cost-effective, affordable, and something that's workable on the farm, or else farmers are going to look at it and it's just going to be hard to make any of that work.
One of the problems I think farmers have seen continually here is issues with the river and with transportation problems. That hurts the basis.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what can be done, but at least it's something that I know ASA is continually addressing with the Army Corps of Engineers and maybe other agencies.
Well, yeah, Army Corps of Engineers for sure. ASA, it's a good time to mention farmer investment and farmer invested dollars that have gone into a lot of that work. An example of the Mississippi River and the dredging of the Mississippi and working with the Corps. But farmers through the soybean checkoff have invested a substantial amount of resources into the studies that go into that work, to determining what can be done to modernize and improve river transportation, whether it's dredging or some type of or port infrastructure, investing in ports, whether it's in the PNW or in the Gulf, but making that transportation system more efficient. And again, it affects our bottom line on the farm when it comes to basis and the cash price of our crops. So farmers are invested in it, have been for a long time, and will continue to work with, whether it's the Corps or nonprofit. We have the Soy Transportation Coalition that is almost entirely focused on those types of issues. So continuing to spread that message and get some of those key investments. When certain legislation and funding bills come up in Congress, making sure that there are the resources there to get that work done.
Anything else that's important to this conversation today that you want to?
Well, we've talked a lot about all this stuff. It comes down to, it's not just for the success on my farm, continuing to have a farm operation that, goes on into future generations, but it's a strong rural America in general. That's what a farm bill's about. That's what a lot of these issues are about. It's not just us on our operation. It's a strong and healthy and financially thriving rural economy in rural America.